A deal has been reached in the Trans-Pacific Partnership today after nearly 6 years of negotiation. According to Reuters, U.S. Trade Representative Michael Froman announced a deal for 12 nations, said that this agreement would set a global standard that helps define the rules of the road for the Asia-Pacific region that will, in his words, lead to more jobs and economic growth across participating countries. Now, I'm going to kind of counter that later on. But first, I want to get through some of this article. Now, Froman said that the completion of this agreement is the first step in the process to implement the deal, and he will begin consultations with Congress to find the best path forward when he returns to Washington. Now, he said that this is a 2016 issue for Congress to discover. Now, once again, this has to go through Congress before it actually gets approved, but so far, the deal has been struck, and now it will be brought to the floor of Congress next year, at the beginning of next year, to be voted on. Now, since the president has fast-track authority, that means that that bill cannot be amended at all. It can either be a straight up or down vote. You can't actually vote or add any sort of amendments to this Trans-Pacific Partnership bill. Now, this whole thing, including the fast-track provision, had huge GOP support. Democrats, not so much, and I'll get to that later. Now, before reaching Capitol Hill, the article continues, the deal will go under public microscope for about 90 days before the agreement is signed. Now, it is expected to lower trade barriers, and this is, as I said, verbatim from the article, and provide greater market access for U.S. exporters across a broad array of sectors, including beef and automobiles. Funny how they bring up beef, because there's a lot of countries where U.S. beef is actually banned because it's of too low of quality. So that's kind of a fun point to point out. Now, the TPP will also set up a global framework of rules covering areas from financial services, medicine, to intellectual property, and new standards for labor and environmental protections. Now, the problem with that is that it will lower those standards. That's a lot of the criticism. Also, criticism, it will take away internet freedom and allow governments to do more monitoring of the internet, as if we're not monitoring enough, right? Now, President Obama will have to convince the Democrats to support the deal, and I don't know, it's not looking great, as a lot of Democrats were against fast track. I don't know, we'll have to see what's actually in the goddamn thing before they actually vote on it. But what did come out, what was leaked, did not sound good. Now, it was an ongoing negotiation, so we don't exactly know. But still, from what we've seen, it's not a good deal. And judging on some of our past free trade agreements, you look at the history, you look at the other free trade agreements and what's happened, outsourcing of jobs, well, it doesn't look very good. Now, Republicans said that they would oppose TPP if the Obama administration came back with language that targets certain sectors of the U.S. economy. Now, this article didn't go into detail, but I'm guessing if there were standards, some sort of standards that would actually raise standards in the United States that would, in Republicans' views, hurt business. So then they would obviously oppose it. But everything in there, since this thing was written by lobbyists, is going to help multinational corporations, and that's exactly who who Republicans and some Democrats work for, unfortunately, in this system. Now, speaking of some of the criticism, one of the biggest critics has came out, and that's Senator Bernie Sanders. Now, after the announcement came out, candidate Bernie Sanders called the trade deal a disaster and said that he would work in Congress to defeat it. Now, Sanders also said that the partnership would lead to the loss of U.S. jobs and said, look, I'm disappointed, but I'm not surprised by the decision to complete the TPP talks. Wall Street and other big corporations have won again. It is time for the rest of us to stop letting multinational corporations rig the system to pad their profits at our expense. So there's Bernie Sanders. Obviously, he's not been for TPP. Hillary Clinton, however, well, she has yet to make a statement on TPP. Remember, she was for it. Now she's kind of sort of again, we're not sure where she stands on this. And so at any time, we're expecting to hear her come out with a statement on the Trans-Pacific Partnership. I'm kind of curious what way she's going to go.